Okay, great. So we'll move on to our next session. Our next session is a very important session, which is on sleep, food for sleep. And we have with us Dr. Rajeshwari Doshi. She's a homeopathic physician, she's an acupuncturist and a nutritionist. So, this particular topic is, something that people have been facing. Many of the people I know also have a lot of problem, including me. So, ma'am, welcome to this session. Thank you for agreeing to speak. And over to you to give us a presentation or talk about food for sleep. Yes.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So, but before speaking about food, let us understand about sleep. What is this? What happens when we are sleeping and how it is happening? Okay, so sleep is essential for the rest and repair of our body. The sleep is controlled by a circadian rhythm, that is our body's biological clock. And it is, what is the body's biological clock? It is a natural process which regulates our sleep and wake cycle. So hormones are secreted. Hormones are what the chemical messengers that are secreted and produced with the respect of our biological clock to control our sleep. So pineal gland present between the left and the right hemisphere produces the hormone called melatonin, which is secreted when the sunlight goes down during the night. So which makes us go to sleep. And in the morning, this melatonin secretion decreases and adrenaline gland located at the top of the kidneys secrete the cortisol hormone, which causes us to wake up as the sun rises. On average, the humans spend around 1/3 of their lifetime sleeping, because as an adult, it requires around 8 hours to sleep a day. So we have 4 phases in our sleep cycle, and our sleep cycle actually has 90 to 110 minutes it is lasting. Okay, so there are 4 phases in this 90 to 110 minutes. The first phase is where we sleep very lightly and we constantly drift in and out of our conscious state easily. Second phase is where our brain functions slows down, but there are short bursts of activities in there. And third and fourth stage is the stage of the deep sleep phase. And in the fourth phase, we have dreams. So this 4 stages happens within 90 to 110 minutes. Okay, and after this phase 4 completes, or in the sleep cycle, we again sleep light before the new cycle begins. So this is what happens when we go to sleep. Okay, so lack of sleep has shown very negative effect on quality of life. It has increased the risk of hypertension, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, depression, obesity, and also it causes dangerous things like increasing the risk of accidents. Okay, so it is important to maintain a good sleep. So for food, which kind of food is important to improve the quality of sleep? First is tryptophan rich food, such as milk and milk products, nuts, seeds, banana, honeys, which help in promoting sleep. So what is a tryptophan? Tryptophan is a type of amino acid. Okay, this amino acid actually helps in making hormones like melatonin and serotonin. Okay, so what does melatonin do? Melatonin actually regulates our sleep and wake cycle. Okay, and it is melatonin hormone is actually very sensitive to light. Okay, so when light decreases, we go to sleep. When light increases, we wake up. And serotonin, that regulates our appetite, our sleep, our moods. Mood swings and moods are regulated by the serotonin and pain. So if you have proper amount of tryptophan in your diet, and tryptophan is an essential amino acid, so you have to obtain it from the diet. Our body cannot make it. So make sure to eat those tryptophan rich food. Milk, milk products, nuts, seeds, banana, and honey are some examples of it. Also, eating carbohydrate rich food in a small amount before sleep can help in improving the sleep. Having little snack or having a glass of milk before going to sleep will help in the cases of insomnia. Okay. Eating too heavy meals or fatty food close to the bedtime keeps our digestive system active and makes us uncomfortable. That's why it becomes very difficult for us to go to sleep. So try eating food at least 4 hours before the bedtime. So suppose you are going to go to sleep at 11 o'clock. So 4 hours before 11 o'clock, that is around 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, you should have your dinner. And after that, you must not consume anything so that our digestive system will go to rest before we go to sleep. Because our digestive system takes around 2 to 3 hours to digest the food. Okay, and then it will go to rest. Then limiting the high fatty foods, as research has shown, people who eat high fatty food, especially towards the bedtime, it causes obesity as well as it disrupts the sleep cycle. Then we have the caffeine. Caffeine is a very important thing because some of us is addicted to coffee, or someone who is addicted to tea. What happens to this? In the caffeine, it disrupts our sleep because caffeine activates our nervous system. It is a stimulant. So what does it do? It activates our nervous system. It makes us to fall difficult to sleep. And so it is said that at least avoid caffeine-rich products 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. Okay, or the caffeine-containing products are various. Apart from coffee, we have chocolates, we have colas, tea. This all have caffeine in them. And apart from them, the caffeine is present in over-the-counter medicines, which are some weight loss medicines, diuretics, cold medicines, pain relievers. They have caffeines in them, and some of them have more caffeine in them than a cup of coffee. So you must read the prescription and then take those medicines, the over-the-counter medicines. And skipping the alcohol. Alcohol helps in getting us sleep faster, but it doesn't give us the better sleep. So we can fall fast very easily if you have alcohol, but it is very disturbed sleep because alcohol after sleeping, after drinking alcohol, it causes headache, tossing and turning, headache. We have night sweats, nightmares. So how can we reduce the effect of alcohol? To dilute the effect of alcohol, drink 1 glass of water per alcoholic drink will reduce or dilute the effect of the alcohol, which is disrupting your sleep and sleep patterns. And better is to avoid the alcohol 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. And the amount of alcohol, it must be 1 to 2 drinks per day, not more than that. If someone who is consuming more than that, it is not only damaging your sleep patterns, but also causing gastric as well as liver disorders. Okay, cirrhosis of liver, fatty liver are very common alcoholic conditions. So one must actually try to avoid alcohol as much as possible. And then avoiding spicy food, because spicy food leads to heartburn, and heartburn causes disturbance in sleep. So first, do not eat late at night. Do not eat spicy food when close to the bedtime, and keep a gap of 4 to 6 hours. That is important. Then don't smoke. Smoking before bedtime, if when in the middle when you wake up, because someone who has who have stressful life, they wake up in the middle of night. So don't smoke in that, because nicotine present in this smoke or in the cigarette, it is a stimulant, and it has same effect as caffeine. It will activate your nervous system. So you will have very difficulty in sleeping back. Try avoiding it, and if possible, try quitting the smoke, because it doesn't only disrupt your sleep but also affects your lung, because all the smoke which you inhale gets deposited in the lungs, in the alveoli of the lungs, which causes difficulty in gaseous exchange, and later on the blood and lungs actually exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. So if there is a deposition of smoke in them, this will also be causing some respiratory disorders further. And lung cancer is also one of the side effects of smoking. And cutting the fluid after 8 p.m. So many people, especially after age of 55 or 60, they have to wake up in the midnight to go to washroom, to urinate. So if in that case, make sure you keep your like 1.5 liter or 2 liter of water throughout the day, but cut off your water after 8 p.m. So you do not have to wake up at night and go to the bathroom to urinate. So make sure of that. Someone who is actually suffering from like has to go to pass urine, especially at night. And include magnesium in RDA amount. RDA is for 19 to 30 years of age, it is 400 milligrams. And more than 31 years of age, it is 420 milligrams in men. And in women, it is 310 and 320 milligrams respectively. So this will help. This was actually, magnesium is actually very helpful in more than 300 types of metabolic activities in our body. But along with that, it helps in activating the neurotransmitters in the brain, which are responsible to give the calming effect of our body and mind. Okay, so this is also important to include the right amount of magnesium. Okay, RDA recommended. Do not take it too much or do not take it too less, because taking anything in too much is harmful to your health. Now, this is what I had to speak today. Any questions you have?
Yeah, hello. I have a question. After 30 to 35, we feel our sleep cycle is disturbed a lot. Also, even if we get time, we are not able to feel asleep. Like not able to go to that long pattern of sleep we used to have. That is that only with food or any genetical issues or any of the body immunity power to do anything with that?
Yes, actually these days, because with the help of phone, actually we all have mobile phone. So what we do is during bedtime, we lay down and scroll our phone. We go through Facebook, we go through Instagram, we go through all kinds of things on mobile. So what happens, this light, because the light is directly in the pineal gland, actually how does it secrete this melatonin is the light actually enters our optic nerves and then it sends the message to pineal gland. But if because we are viewing the light in the phone, because in the darkness our view is on the light from our phone, so what will it do? It will not produce melatonin at that level which is required for us to fall asleep. So it is better, like, at least half an hour before going to bed, do not use phone or something which emits light so much. So for one is that is a major thing. Another is stress. If there is a lot of stress, someone who is having a stressful lifestyle, they have high levels of cortisol in their body, because cortisol is secreted by adrenaline gland under stress. It is if the person is going through mental or a physical stress, the cortisol levels actually increases and it causes us sleeplessness. So try exercising, because exercising is one of the good way to decrease the cortisol level in our body. Second is try meditation. Meditation is helpful to decrease the mental stress, and this will further decrease the cortisol level. Because most of the lifestyle these days are very stressful. It is not just like, it is a very common lifestyle, stressful lifestyle.
I have, ma'am, yes, there is something that I've heard, that consuming eggs before sleep, gives you a lot of indigestion. And is it true?
It can, because it has a high amount of protein. Protein takes longer time to digest than compared to carbohydrates. That is why.
So if we avoid eggs in the night, then the sleep is better.
Yes, and I said earlier that 4 hours gap क्यों लेना है, because our digestion takes 2 to 3 hours to complete the full digestion process. तो उसके बाद the digestive system will have a rest, so it won't disturb us while we go to sleep. So you take anything, but make sure, and that is why it is said carbohydrate क्या है कि वो easily digest हो जाएगा. It will digest very easily, so it will help to sleep better, but a little amount, not too much. A glass of milk or a small, like 2-3 chips can helpful to sleep better. But move towards the more healthier side. Healthier food आप खाइए ज़्यादा. And I would suggest milk is much better option than having any other thing.
Does this all apply to everybody, including those working in call centers who sleep in the daytime?
Yes. So, see, those who work in the call centers, what they will have to do? Their whole biological cycle, their circadian rhythm is inverted. So what do they have to do? They will have to close their home and make it look like it is a night, and then they can sleep. Otherwise, they won't be able to sleep. Because everything works on our light. See, first is the melatonin hormone. Our body is our body is just made as कि light आएगा तो we will wake up, and when light goes away we'll go to sleep, and our body secretes hormones, everything accordingly. So it is better if you are working as a call center, try like morning shift or something like that, because ultimately you are sacrificing your health. Because sleep, which I said is very less things about sleep affecting quality of life, but it actually affects lot of things. It does not affect like, depression, diabetes. It also causes nutritional deficiency if you have a sleep deficiency.
I think we should have a separate session for the call center people who sleep in the day. And people who can't probably, leave their job. They can't shift to day jobs.
Yes,
they have to continue in the night.
So they will have to manage their biological clock again, and they have to make a surrounding, like when they go to sleep, they make sure that everything is dark in their room so they can sleep better. Because everything is controlled with the help of light, sunlight, because from our ancestors, our body has been trained with the help of sunlight because before we didn't have electricity. I think in India, past 70 years back, we didn't have this much of electricity in every part of the country, right? So our body has been trained according to the sunlight, and we are just trying to change it by keeping ourselves awake till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night, continuously scrolling in our phones, working at night. So we are just changing whole of our biological cycle. So that is why we are having too many chronic diseases these days.
So I have one more query to make. Like, what is the sleep hours for a usual 3-year baby and a 8-year baby? Because nowadays we are not seeing much of sleep with them.
Yes, for like around 9 to 12 years, they sleep around 9 hours a day. And 3 years baby, they actually can sleep around, I think 16 hours a day. They can sleep that much because they don't have any work, right? So they can actually sleep like 16 hours a day. In the beginning, they will be sleeping out of, like in the infancy, they sleep around 20 hours a day, right? Infancy, the first year of their birth. Correct. And slowly it decreases to like 20 to 17, 16. It will decrease slowly. And after 5 years of age, 9 hours a day.
Okay, if those hours are not met, they are sleep deficient, right?
Yes, they are sleep deficient. But also with this, actually, we have a problem in, like, we have ADHD, the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So in those cases, the children won't sleep so easily. So you have to even go through those things also, see if they are having any kind of ADHD or anything like that.
Yeah, should be monitored. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much for that presentation. And if we got a lot of knowledge, and we'll keep in touch, and we'll have more sessions like this, because as I was saying, we should have separate sessions because some people are forced to, not everybody can sleep at at one particular time. These were rules which were framed before. Now the world has become difficult. You need to adjust according to the thing. So we need to prepare ourselves and design ourselves according to the situation.
So we need to just make our environment those ways that our body can adapt and make ourselves healthy.
Yes.
And nutrition actually plays a very important role in sleep also. Having good amount of vegetables, like 50% of your diet must contain vegetables. So it will be very helpful in that, because they have phytonutrients and many other micronutrients in them, which help us to sleep better.
Okay, ma'am. Great. So thank you very much.